everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Well, Megalodon and Ginger Nuts are in full distraction mode, coming up with one thing after another to distract us. And I think one of the major things they don't want us talking about is their USAID or USAID funding that they've gotten. And so, therefore, I decided to just dig a little more into that just to see what exactly have they been up to. And they've been up to quite a bit of crimes against humanity, in my opinion. I was looking through, we all know about African parks and the throwing natives off their lands, killings, rapings, beatings there. USAID, Harry and Meghan have received USAID money, our tax money, for the Invictus Games, which supports war in Ukraine and had actual Ukraine soldiers there this year, active fighting. Better Up, which is Harry's, has a very big contract getting our tax dollars to the U.S. Army with Better Up, which we all know is a scam, and everybody who works there complains. They hate it. They said it's toxic, and it's not. It's also a very negative, toxic place, just taking our tax dollars, not helping anyone. It's a scam, I believe. Also, South African parks. I just covered that one. Aspen Institute, which we all know, George Soros involved, Katie Couric, and all the rest. There's censorship, all about censoring us. Yeah, and then it also mentions the Gavin Newsom connection. So all of these nefarious places that are just causing death and destruction. And not only this, there's more. There's more. USAID also sent a lot of money to Nigeria. Nigeria. Mm-hmm. I know that took a royal tour to Nigeria recently. Oh, yeah, Harry and Megalodon. So besides all the other activities that they've been involved with, it looks like they're also involved with, because everybody was wondering, why are Harry and Meghan in Nigeria? Why are they visiting the Nigerian military leaders there? It looks like a lot of the funding for USAID that they said was going towards education and helping, children get fresh water or whatever they tried to claim that they were putting the money towards. Mainly, they were claiming it was for health and education. Well, it turns out a lot, if not all the money, a large part of it went to funding Boko Haram, which are a terrorist organization that has murdered tens of thousands of Christians. And this is going on, and Harry and Meghan were there. They know all about it. Meghan with her upside down cross she was wearing. This came up in a Senate committee. Who was it then? We had somebody in our government, federal government, made a claim. U.S. Congressman Scott Perry brought it up recently. So if you look at the mainstream media will say, no, none of that money from USAID went to Boko Haram. No. Well, that's not what people in Africa are saying. They're saying, yeah, the money was taken. They couldn't figure out how they were getting all this funding. Well, now they know it's from USAID. So it's all coming out now because the funding stopped. Trump cut it off. And now they're figuring out, oh, that's where they were getting the money from. And the exact number of Christians that are murdered, the numbers vary to over 50,000, according to Vatican Times. This year alone, you're talking almost 4,000. And people displaced as well. So this is a huge problem. And it looks like, I don't know how Harry and Meghan may figure into this, but it was USAID involved in giving all this money to Nigeria that ended up in the hands of Boko Haram. And considering all the other money that Harry and Meghan get from USAID, I can't help but think it's connected, right? So they're involved in a lot of crimes against humanity here, to say the least. Is there any atrocity going on in the world that Harry and Meghan are not somehow a part of and benefiting from somehow? So we should just keep bringing this up and any new updates on this to make sure that it's not forgotten. And there's an added twist to this because besides Harry and Meghan, I also, I follow a lot of cult news. I used to love Dazed but Not Confused with the late, what's his name? Dazed but Not Confused. What's that guy's name? He was interviewed by H.G. Tudor. Let me get him here. He was the ex-Scientologist. Oh, Doug Kramer. Doug Kramer. Yeah. His channel is still up, even though he passed away under suspicious circumstances, in my opinion. His channel is up in his anyways. So if you're interested in learning about Scientology, and he's being an ex-Scientologist, he knew all the ins and outs and how brainwashed they are and how dangerous they are. He said they're willing to die for Scientology. Well, we all know about Harry and Meghan in Scientology because Harry and the royal family actually are both very involved. You got Tom Cruise visiting the royal family, and you also with Harry, he got an award from John Travolta, another Scientologist, getting that Legend of Aviation award. And that picture of Harry with the sailors on what was it? Veterans Day or something. And I think those were Scientologists because they all wear the sailor uniforms. Well, whatever. He's very involved with them. So this man, Tony Ortega on the right, he has been following Scientology for a long time. He's a former editor of The Village Voice. Yeah, very prominent journalist. He has Substack. And he's been following. He follows all the latest news of the Scientologists and what they're up to, and he says that President Trump's most, his pick, the people surrounding him, there are a lot of very prominent Scientologists that he's picked for very prominent positions. And so this video here that's on YouTube, the Chris Sheldon channel there. Shelton. I'll just play a quick clip that I highly recommend if you're interested in this, because I'm thinking if there are high-level Scientologists in the Trump, White House and staff and whatnot, this government, that may help Harry. Let's play a quick. This is where he's talking about the Scientologists.
The nightmare fuel, folks. Tony, take it away.
Yeah, so we knew going into the election that a couple of Trump's biggest supporters and fundraisers were OT Scientologists like Trish Duggan and Grant Cardone. Since the election, however, I've been waiting to see what that translates to. And the first thing that caught my eye was, I don't know, a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, one of these many executive orders that the White House put out said that they were going to fight anti-Christian bias. And I thought, well, that's interesting because, Trump is close to Trish Duggan and Grant Cardone and Scientology. I don't know. Are there still people that are confused and think it's some sort of branch of Christianity? In fact, Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard founder, was very harsh about other religions, in particular, Christianity in particular. So I decided to write a story and remind people that we hear him on tape, L. Ron Hubbard, saying there was no Christ. And, saying that basically the world's religions are all just made up fakery from Xenu, who implanted body Thetan 75 million years ago. And it's not just that story. I know one person was saying, Tony, that's just one story. No, I do this thing at my website called Source Code, where I quote Hubbard all through many years of lectures. And I found many times when he was very critical of religion, very critical of the concept of God. I don't think there's any question that Scientology, in Scientology, you are the God and you have fallen and you just need to go through the processing to remember your whole track so you can become a God like Thetan. So that's what's really going on. And personally, I don't care if Scientologists want to believe that. That's not a problem. But when the White House is saying they want to root out anti-Christian bias, I just raise the question, does that mean the Church of Scientology might be in some trouble? And my answer is no, not at all, because it turns out not only was Trish Duggan one of Trump's biggest individual donors at $5 million in 2020 and 2024, but that she is part of this thing called the America First Policy Institute. And I know the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025 gets a lot more attention, but both Politico and the New York Times wrote about the AFPI and said actually it's more fundamental to the plans for the second Trump administration. And in fact, the top people who run the AFPI have all ended up in Trump's cabinet. I mean, these are the people really planning what's going to be happening. One of the
So there's more to it. If you want to go to his channel, I'll put a link below that he goes into all the different Scientologists. But one of the biggest donors and some high positions there are Scientologists. So I'm wondering, is that the ace up his sleeve that Harry and Meghan have there? Is that why they have the Scientology connection? Let's see. Are the Scientologists going to save Harry and Meghan, or at least Hairball? Let's find out. See, this is the secret with these secretive cults like Scientology. People underestimate how powerful they are and how effective they've been, getting information off the internet, scrubbing things they don't like, and, controlling governments. Hey. I mean, they're everywhere. And if you know who they are and follow them, but you're not going to hear about this in the mainstream media. No, 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 no. So, yeah. So I'm wondering if this is like Harry's backup plan. This is how he's avoiding with the royal family. And it kind of shows that they're all working together too, all these connections. Because what's the coincidence that Scientology is involved with everybody, right? It's like, and man, they know they've got their brainwashing down there. They know how to brainwash people and keep them subservient, working for nothing, slaving away for hours, and being obedient to the Scientology way. Anyways, it's just unbelievable. So let's see, what's the relationship right now between Prince Harry and Scientology? It does look like they're protecting him, like gonna look out for him. I mean, they're obviously in the highest positions there. They would have a lot of sway, and they look out for each other. They're a group, you don't mess with one of their members. And oh, by the way, he also talked about the fact that Tom Cruise was in a major commercial before the Super Bowl, this past Super Bowl, as well as he was in a commercial for the Olympics. It's like they're normalizing Scientologists. They're putting him, he's their poster boy. And of course, as you know, he hung out with Catherine and William. And, Scientologists, they're lacking in numbers, but they've got a lot of prominence, a lot of power there. So let's take a look. Let's look at the relationship of Scientology with Ginger Nuts. So if he loses the IPP, his backup plan may be Scientology. Let's see. What's the relationship? Let's see. We put Harry on the left. Scientology on the right. And the bottom of the deck, Seven of Wands. Those might be Scientologists, some of those sausage squatters. I'm wondering if any of them are in Scientology. They do act like they're in a cult, you got to say, and they do work long hours and pushing harebrain and megalodon. But I see a lot of defending as a defense, putting somebody up on a pedestal and defending them on high here. So let's see, Harry's side he needs only 4 of Pentacles, stability, money, opportunities. Now, Scientology has a lot of connections in Hollywood, so it does benefit you to be on their good side with them. So I think that trying to get parts and trying to get connections there have been helpful to him. Of course, the awards that he's gotten from Scientologists. And then, a 3 of Pentacles reversed. But of course, working together secretively. Harry, of course, is not going to, he'll take the awards, for, even if it's a complete lie about being, when he's not even a pilot and all that. But they do work together. I wonder if Owen Scobie's somehow involved as well with Scientology. He's not doing well either recently. He lost his business in the UK, the You Me or something. Anyways, he's working on a movie right now basically about Meghan's life, using someone else. So he's starting his own thing there. But I wonder if he's working with Scientologists as well. They seem to be working together undercover there secretively. And 2 of Pentacles reversed, going back and forth here, a bit cray-cray. So he's not willing to come out publicly. But I do think that Harry does want their support and wants to keep it secretive. He kind of goes back and forth with them. So if he's with them, but he's not, I don't think he's dedicated to them. Not yet, anyways. Scientologists, of course, Scientology would love having royals. They love having their prominence. See, there's a difference between being a prominent member, like a Tom Cruise or John Travolta, or a royal family member, that you're treated like a royalty, basically. You'd be at the top of the food chain. So it wouldn't be the same as an underling, like an average person joining Scientology, where you'd be put to work as a slave, basically. I mean, that's basically what Scientology is. It's like serf, feudalist, kind of abusive feudalist situation with brainwashing on top. So basically what the globalists are trying to do worldwide right now. So what's Scientology? What do they need from Harry? What do they need? Okay, well, they want, his money, work here. They do want to work together and financially support each other, royal family and whatnot, Harry being a connection of that. And I get, look at that. The High Priestess, keeping everything secret. This is also alternate religions as well. Of course, Scientology is a major. They're under the tax code of being a religion or a church when they're really not, but that has protected them for a long time and still protects them to this day. They're not. We don't have to so there's some. It's more difficult to arrest perpetrators and to, invade their financials and whatnot. Oh, invade is the word, but scrutinize them because they have that protection, the separation of church and state. So that's helped them out tremendously and saved them lots of money as well with their financial dealings to be a tax-exempt church, I believe. And last but not least, how they see Harry. This is how they see Harry. 9 of Cups reversed. The dumb, spoiled, arrogant prince is out of control with that wife, Megalodon. Yeah. So they see Harry as, just overindulged and spoiled prince. So, but, they still want him. They'll still take a royal family member. And what's the energy is going on in between them? Oh, look at that. King of Pentacles, the Prince Harry card. Yeah, so I think that they will protect him. He's, I think the royal family actually may have sent or have asked them to keep an eye out for their wandering family member over there in LA and whatnot. So I do think that, yes, and I think that the power is on their side. They have a lot of secret connections over here. Never mind all their at the base of it all, and you could watch Doug Kramer, Dazed and Confused. At the base of Scientology is Satanism. When you get higher up to OT, operating Thetan, 8, I think he got up to 8. I think he goes up to 12 or something. I said basically at those higher levels, like you get possessed. He experienced it. He talks about it. He's like, this is literally Satanism. L. Ron Hubbard and I think it was Jack Parsons. They're both. The Satanism is the basis, basically, of Scientology. But the average Scientologist doesn't know that. They think it's, they don't even know the spaceship story or Xenu. Even though that was covered in, what was it, The Simpsons? But yeah, it's very evil. It's a very evil Satanism at the end of it all. It all goes back to Satanism. It seems like everything, whether it's World Economic Forum or with the CERN and all that, everything goes back to the same place. And that's where Harry's at. That's where Harry. So they're with Harry for sure. And them and their satanic buddies are going to be there to protect him if everything falls apart. I'm getting coins and coins and coins and coins. So it's a very stable relationship, long term, and one based on ability, money. Scientology will protect him, but they'll of course expect something in return. And is it a coincidence that there's a big Scientology center in Sussex, UK? Is that a coincidence? I don't know. You tell me. But anyway, so there you have it. Yeah, I think that they will protect him. They will. They would, at the very least, they would hide him away somewhere, away from authorities coming to get him. If Harry was going to be getting arrested, they would definitely hide him. For sure. Yeah. Very close here. Very secretive, though. Very secretive relationship. So there you have it. So I hope you enjoyed this. If so, please like and subscribe. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.